Hello, you are watching HT Auto and my name is Parth Khatri. Now, it's an important day for the motorcycle industry whenever a new Pulsar launches in the Indian market. However, the motorcycle we are talking today about might be the most important one from Bajaj since the Pulsar N250 and the F250. This right here is the Pulsar P150, the successor to the Pulsar 150. This means that the Pulsar 150 will be eventually phased out from the Indian market. So, today we have the Pulsar P150 with us and let's see how it rides. Bajaj has taken elements from the N250 and the N160 for the Pulsar P150. The headlamp is different from the one found on the elder siblings, but it still retains the angular design. It uses an LED projector setup. Then there are the turn indicators, which are still halogen units. The fuel tank has a muscular design, and what adds to the bulk are the tank shrouds. The P150 gets an underbelly exhaust just like the N160, and yes, it does sound quite nice. What is also shared with the new generation of Pulsars is the LED tail lamp. In terms of features, there is a USB port placed thoughtfully and neatly. The instrument cluster is the same infinity display console that we have seen on the new gen Pulsars. It is a semi-digital unit that gets an analog tachometer. The digital unit does show the distance to empty readout, time, gear position indicator, odometer and twin trip meters. Bajaj is not offering hazard lights or any sort of Bluetooth connectivity. Now this is the twin disc variant of the Pulsar P150. It gets clip-on handlebars, slightly rear set foot pegs and a split seat setup. There's also a single disc variant on offer that gets a single piece handlebar, a single piece seat and slightly forward set foot pegs. Now let's talk about the heart of the matter. Despite the bore and stroke being identical to the previous Pulsar 150, the engine is all new according to Bajaj. The engine puts out 14.3 bhp of max power at 8,500 rpm and a peak torque output of 13.5 Nm at 6,000 rpm. The manufacturer says that 90% of torque is available across the usable rev range. I found this to be quite true because there is usable torque available whenever the rider twists the throttle. One really does not need to change the gears a lot because the engine pulls cleanly from the low revs in higher gears. Speaking of gear shifts, the gearbox is a 5-speed unit and is slick. I found myself getting into force neutrals twice or thrice during my short ride. However, the highlight of the engine is still the way it chases the red line after 6,000 rpm. What surprised me the most was how smooth the on-off throttle transitions were. The NVH levels have also improved over the previous generation of Pulsars. Now there are slight vibrations on the foot pegs in the mid-range, and it is only at the top end of the rev range when the vibrations start creeping onto the handlebar. According to Bajaj, the P150 can hit a top speed of 108 kmph and the claimed fuel efficiency is 49 kmpl. In terms of handling, the Pulsar P150 is a significant improvement. It dips into corners nicely and stays composed. The reason behind this is the new chassis borrowed from the N160 and the overall weight, which has now gone down by 10 kgs. The cradle frame now uses the engine as the stretched member and the front suspension setup is also nicely tuned. Having said that, I found the rear monoshock to be on the stiffer side. Then there are the brakes, which are sufficient to stop the P150. The front one feels nice and progressive, whereas the rear one has a strong initial bite. The P150 is equipped with only a single channel ABS.